Well, it's finally time for RASMUS DAHLIN to go first overall. And with the NHL entry draft right around the corner, we decided it was time for us to do a mock draft. What's going on, everybody? It's Matt from Puck Rivals, and today Billy and I will be going over who we think will go in the top 10 of this draft. And without wasting any time, let's get right into it.
To kick things off, we head to Buffalo, who hold the first overall selection in the draft. No surprises here, the Sabres are taking defenseman Rasmus Dahlin. Besides Ristolainen, Buffalo's D-core is pretty weak, so he's exactly what the Sabres need to start becoming competitive again. The Swede is largely considered a generational talent who can control the game in all areas. With slick hands to create offense, and he's not afraid to rush the puck himself or join in on the attack. Scouts say he can skate like Erik Karlsson and defend like Nick Lidstrom. He can lay out big hits here and there as well, but he isn't overly physical. Dahlin finished the season in the SHL with 20 points in 41 games as a 17-year-old. For a style comparison, look no further than Brian Leetch.
Alright, so after winning the second pick in the draft lottery, we feel that Carolina is going to take ANDREI SUECHNIKOV. Now, the kind of player that they're getting in SUECHNIKOV is an elite goal scorer with size, with potential to be a franchise player. He's been ranked second basically all year. There's been some arguments with him and Zadina, but we feel he's still going to hold out that spot in the end. SUECHNIKOV can play a power game along with a skill game, and he's a good mix of a power forward and can also rip the puck. But even though he's mostly known for his scoring, don't count out his playmaking ability. SUECHNIKOV's known for making great plays around the net as well. Of course, his best asset is his shot, and he finished almost a goal a game in the OHL with 40 goals in 44 games played and 72 points on the season. He continued that dominance in the playoffs as well, finishing with 11 points in 8 games, 5 of those being goals. In the World Juniors this year, he got 5 assists, 0 goals, but he's still a younger player in that tournament, so you can look to see if he's not in the NHL next year, a lot of dominance from him in that tournament. And to sum up this pick, SUECHNIKOV will help Carolina up front score some more goals, and they already have a solid blue line, so this is a great add, giving them some forward depth and some more scoring ability. Now they just have to figure out how to get a consistent goalie.
The owners of the third overall pick in the 2018 draft are the Montreal Canadiens, who, as we all know, won the lottery and moved up one spot. As we all know, I'm a huge Habs fan, so I get the honor to announce our mock draft selection. It's pretty obvious the Habs are in the most need of a centerman, but unfortunately for them, there aren't any that are worth taking with the third overall pick. Moving on, this pick shouldn't be a surprise. Filip Zadina goes to the Habs. Filip is a shifty forward with a great ability to create. He's arguably one of the best stick handlers in the draft. However, he is primarily known as a sniper. He scores a vast majority of his goals from the circles down. He can protect the puck with a combination of his size and his great hands. Some knocks on Zadina are that his skating could use some work, more specifically his top-end speed, and although he commits to a two-way game, his defensive play could stand to get better too, although he did play on the penalty kill this season. Zadina finished with 82 points in 57 games with Halifax, 44 of which are goals. Please don't mess this up, Bergevin. I beg you. Please, please, please.
Alright, so this fourth overall pick may be a bit surprising to some people. We think the Ottawa Senators will take Evan Bouchard with pick number 4. Now, I already know all the Tkachuk comments are coming, and I think Tkachuk would have been number 4 if he wasn't going back to college next year. Now, Ottawa has a big decision to make, and a lot of the factors have to do with their management and what their thoughts are with re-signing Erik Karlsson. Because if they are, it would make sense to take Tkachuk and a forward, but if they're planning on trading him, Bouchard's a great pick to add to their blue line, and another young D-man who can lead Ottawa's blue line in the future with Shabbat. Now, with all that extra stuff out of the way, let's get into the player that they're going to get. So Bouchard dominated the OHL this year, finishing with 87 points in 67 games as a defenseman and 25 goals. Bouchard's a right-handed puck mover with good size, and that's really hard to find, and one of those players that a lot of teams are missing. He has a good hockey IQ and makes smart plays. And he's also a late birthday, so he's had another year to mature. He's a two-way defenseman with more emphasis on the offensive side, known for his great passing and ability to break the puck out of the zone. He's not a flashy player, but he's smart and makes good plays. So to conclude on this pick, Bouchard may even be able to make Ottawa next year, which is another reason why we feel he'll get taken, since Tkachuk is going back to Boston University. Ottawa can't be bad next year since the Avalanche have their first round pick. They need to take someone who may be able to help them immediately, and I know it's not 100% that he'll make the team or be an impact player in the NHL in his first year, but he's climbed the rankings this year and is really highly touted defenseman. And with Ottawa's prospect pool, it makes sense that if there's any chance Karlsson's going to go, they need to stock up again.
At 5, the Coyotes take Swedish blue liner Adam Boqvist. This may come as a surprise with Brady Tkachuk still available. However, the Coyotes have an abundance of young forwards, including a power forward already in Lawson Krause, with not much to show for on the back end. All of their most noteworthy D-men are all left-handed, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Jacob Chychrun, Nicholas Hjalmarsson, and Alex Goligoski. Boqvist will bring them a very good right-handed, mobile, dynamic offensive defenseman. Obviously, he excels at the offensive side of the game. Boqvist has slick puck-handling skills, excellent vision, and positional awareness. He has the ability to quarterback a power play, and like most offensive defensemen, his defensive end play could be improved. He's also on the smaller side, so he could use to improve his strength as well. But with Oliver Ekman-Larsson as a mentor in Arizona, this pick makes sense for the Yotes. Boqvist tallied 24 points in 25 games in the Swedish Junior League Super Elite. I'm terribly sorry if I pronounced that wrong. For a style comparison, it's pretty obvious. Erik Karlsson.
So this guy has definitely dropped a lot more than people expected. But at number 6, we have the Detroit Red Wings taking Brady Tkachuk. Now, it definitely would shock a lot of people if Tkachuk dropped this far. But again, he took an extra year, and that gives some teams an incentive to maybe take a defenseman instead, because they're going to need a year regardless. But let's get into the pick. So the Red Wings need help in every area. They have a lot of older players, guys that are going to be retiring. They need some more cornerstones, and they got one in Tkachuk. Tkachuk has NHL size at 6'3" and 196 pounds. He's one of those guys that you hate to play against, but if he's on your team, you love him. He plays the kind of gritty style that his brother does, but will also put the puck in the net if you give him the chance to. Brady can make an impact with the puck and without. In the NCAA this year, he had 31 points in 40 games, and also crushed it at the World Junior Championship with 9 points in 7 games. Brady's responsible at both ends of the ice, which is also why he's been so highly touted. I think it's safe to say that if Tkachuk wasn't going back to BU for another year, he'd be in the NHL. There's almost no question. But that's the decision that he decided to make, and luckily for the Red Wings, he drops down to their spot, because if he wasn't going back, guaranteed he would be taken by now.
With the 7th pick, the Canucks grab Memorial Cup champion Noah Dobson. After that Memorial Cup run, we'll see if Dobson will still be available for Vancouver in real life. Anyways, Vancouver's shelves are stocked at forward and don't really need anyone in net with Thatcher Demko coming up. So it's quite clear the Canucks need a defenseman at number 7, and Dobson fits the bill. Dobson's biggest strength is his skating, and mixed with his size, it makes him an attractive pick for the Canucks. Defensively, Dobson likes to poke check, which combined with his skating, makes him a tough opponent. He can catch most forwards in a straight line on a back check too. However, things for him to work on defensively include reads and passing ability, but he's not bad at these things either. Offensively speaking, he has good awareness which helps him play the playmaker role, or when he decides to use both snapshots or slapshots, which is an absolute bomb by the way. However, sometimes he is prone to rush offensive plays or even mishandle the puck. But all in all, this could be a steal for the Canucks. He finished with 69 points in 67 games in the Q, and 7 points in 4 games in the Memorial Cup, all with the Titans. A style comparison is Alex Pietrangelo of the St. Louis Blues.
And now we're on to the 8th overall pick, where we think that the Chicago Blackhawks are going to take sniping winger Oliver Wahlstrom. Now this is the first top 10 pick the Hawks have had in a while. This year, Wahlstrom got 48 goals in 62 games in the United States Development Program, as well as getting 45 points in 26 games in the USHL, 22 of those being goals. Wahlstrom is a pure sniper, and he also has a little bit of size along with his skill when compared to who they already have as their scoring wingers in guys like Kane and DeBrincat. In picking Wahlstrom, they're adding more young scorers in the lineup, and it also gives them more forward depth. In the Under-18 championship this year, Wahlstrom had 7 goals in 7 games. I know it was a heartbreaking loss to Finland, but he still had a heck of a tournament. The guy can snipe from pretty much anywhere. He has one of the best shots in this draft. Even though he's not known for it because his scoring draws all the attention, WAHLSTROM still has some very good playmaking abilities. A couple things he can work on are his top skating speed and play in the defensive zone. Either way, the Hawks haven't picked in the top 10 in a while, so I wouldn't be surprised if he turns into a 30-plus goal scorer in his first season. Just look at DeBrincat. What a steal that was already.
The Rangers' 9th overall pick now shouldn't be too hard. Their top 2 prospects are forwards in Elias Anderson and Philip Hedl, so maybe it's time for a defenseman. Who's still available? It's Quinn Hughes, the last of the players consistently ranked within the top 9 among scouts. It shouldn't really be a hard pick for New York. Basically, whoever is left from the top 9, or maybe they'll want to go off the board. Now let's take a look who we have slated to go to 9th to the Blue Shirts. Hughes is a small but skilled, smooth-skating offensive defenseman out of the Michigan Wolverines program. He likes to rush the puck and join the rush when there is open ice. Other things that stand out about this prospect are his ability to control the puck at high speeds and how good he is under pressure. One of the most obvious knocks on Hughes is his size, which leads to the fact that he doesn't win many puck battles, and then the other, which applies to most offensively gifted D-men, is that he needs to improve his defensive game. In the end, smaller defensemen are starting to become more common in today's NHL, so teams shouldn't be too worried about taking Hughes. He finished with 29 points in 37 games with Michigan in the NCAA. A style comparison is Torrey Krug of the Boston Bruins.
So with the 10th pick to cap off this top 10 mock draft, we have the Edmonton Oilers taking defenseman Ty Smith from the Spokane Chiefs. So we're at the point in the draft where a lot of defensemen have already went, and there are some good centers there available to be taken at this point, but the Oilers need defense. So adding a guy like Ty Smith would really be good for their prospect pool. In the WHL this year, Ty Smith got 73 points in 69 games and 7 points in 7 playoff games as well. In Smith, they're getting a really good puck mover and a left-handed defenseman. He is a little undersized at 5'10", 170 pounds, but those kind of guys can succeed in the NHL now because he makes up for it in skill and his ability to make plays. Smith is a really good pick for the Oilers and will definitely be able to help them out in a couple years' time.
Now there are 3 players not included in our top 10 that could easily crack it. These 3 include Joe Veleno, center, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, center, and Barrett Hayton, center. Joe Veleno plays in the QMJHL with Drummondville, and he's basically a jack-of-all-trades kind of centerman. Kotkaniemi plays in the Finnish Liga, and he could be a top 6 center with top-line upside. He's got high hockey IQ, and you could argue he's the best center available in this draft. Lastly, we have Barrett Hayton, center for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. He's a slick, two-way center, and he can beat you in many different ways. That concludes the Puck Rivals mock draft. How did your team draft based on this? Who would you like your team to draft in real life? Let us know. Obviously, these lists are subjective, so let us know as well in the comments what your mock draft looks like. If you like hockey videos, make sure to subscribe, because that is what we do on this channel. See you later.